Pisces 22. Man bringing down the law from Sinai. It's Moses, isn't it? The 10 Commandments were delivered to Moses on Mount Sinai, and so on. This is the story of the Bible. And these 10 Commandments are taken as laws, sacred laws. This understanding is probably not very subtle. It's probably better to see these 10 Commandments as working principles rather than the law of God. God doesn't really make laws. How can God make laws if God also gives free will? It doesn't make any sense, does it? There are some laws that exist. The law of gravity, for example, that which holds reality together. But there's no laws about behaviour which are not different at a different place and time. Extraordinary things can be okay in different circumstances. Very extraordinary things can be legitimate behaviours at different times. That's a very controversial point of view, of course. But what we have here is the understanding that whereas some things are intuitively clear, other things are more subtle, and we do need guidance about those subtle realities that we just would not be able to work out for ourselves otherwise. And like, for example, knowing that it's not a good idea to hurt other people. That's intuitively obvious, isn't it? Not stealing somebody else's stuff in our culture. That's intuitively obvious. But there are other rules to live by that are certainly not intuitively clear to most people. When we're told them, they become more and more self-evident. But that needed to be started. A trigger needed to be given for that knowledge to become evident within us. And so we're talking about those kind of things where you need a teacher or at least a tradition of teaching to explain how to live. And the primary version of this is called the Golden Rule. And it is present in pretty much every spiritual tradition that there is. And this is do as you'd be done by. Whatever you do want to happen to you, do that to others. Whatever you don't want to happen to you, well, don't do it to anybody else. That's the fundamental law, and it is not intuitively clear. Not to everyone, not at all. And what that means is that if you want more money in your life, then give money away. If you want more love in your life, then be loving. That's what that means. Whatever you want to receive, be that way. And be that way first. Not in response to something. Not to exchange a gift for a gift. That's not giving, that's exchange. Whatever you want the world to be that thing first. Be the change you want to see in the world, said Gandhi. Yes, that's right. Do what you want done to you, and all will be well. So these rules that we cannot intuitively get ourselves, we need to take from some other source. Now, typically that's a spoken word from a teacher or a priest or something, or the written word, sacred texts. Mostly. Could be poetry, could be fiction. It's whatever triggers you to a new perception. And the bottom line really about life is that we need to change our perceptions. That's growth. Changing your perceptions from what you have been doing, change your mind about something and do something different. As long as you're always changing, then eventually you'll get where you want to be. It's when we get stuck that we know that we cannot get anywhere else. But when we're moving, it's inevitable that we will. So take advice, intuitively kind of get a sense of whether that advice applies to you, and then realize it, make it real as a life path. that's the way forward. I think this is the basic message of Pisces 22.